In the United States, the presidential election is coming up this November, but campaigning is already in full swing. Iowa's first in the nation presidential caucus is being held 1 week from today. For the Republicans going into that race, former President Donald Trump does look to be unbeatable, and we're going to talk about that now with France 24's Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, first of all, what's the state of the Republicans going into this important step of the race?
Well, it looks like Donald Trump has already virtually won the Iowa caucus, and really it would be a political earthquake if he didn't win it at this point. He has an average of 50% of the votes compared with Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, who are between 15 and 20%. So that's nearly or more than 30% difference. So when you have those sky-high expectations and that sort of a lead, a victory is not necessarily a victory. No one is expecting Donald Trump to lose, but the way he wins is what is going to be key. How big is his margin going to be? When you've led by 20, 30 points for months now, anything really below that might change the sort of narrative around Donald Trump and how strong he is and how big of a lead he has. And that's why you're seeing his team actually themselves trying to lower the expectations for Donald Trump. They're referring to 1988 when Bob Dole won by 12 points in Iowa. That was the largest lead in a contested Iowa race for a Republican. So they're looking to put this as the floor for a victory for Donald Trump. And then if you look at Donald Trump's lead, if he has a smallish victory, that could boost the momentum for whoever comes in second. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley. Ron DeSantis has a small lead, but Nikki Haley is doing extremely well, and that's why they are really fighting for second place, because they know that if something happens to Donald Trump, whether it's a bad result in Iowa or any of the races going forward, or another legal challenge for Donald Trump, they would be the ones to have the spotlight on them after Donald Trump.
So let's talk a bit more about these legal challenges for Donald Trump. He's in the middle of several court cases. He's even been struck from the ballot in some states. What kind of effect might all of that have?
Well, for now, it's not looking like it has any effect on at least the Republican base and his supporters. But that said, the political and legal calendar are going to be colliding, and the race is long. And when I say colliding, they're going to start colliding right now, right tomorrow, when Trump will be in Washington, D.C. to attend an appeals court hearing. This is to determine whether or not a former president can face prosecution for acts that he committed while he was in office. This is, of course, for trying to overturn the 2020 results. So there's a court date tomorrow. Donald Trump will be in court. And then the day after the Iowa caucus, on January 16, there's a trial starting in New York. This is the defamation case with E. Jean Carroll. So something totally different, but that means that Donald Trump is going back and forth in different courts, different states, while this whole campaign is going on. And just last Friday, the Supreme Court of the United States made a very key and crucial decision. They will hear the Colorado case that you mentioned being struck from the ballot, and they will have arguments on February 8th with the hopes of having a decision before Super Tuesday, which is March 5th, when many states are going to the polls, and they're going to decide on the meaning and the reach of the 14th Amendment that we've mentioned a lot, talking about those who engaged in an insurrection and whether that bars them from holding public office. Does that apply to a president? Did Donald Trump actually participate in an insurrection? And can states unilaterally remove a candidate from the ballot? So that decision by the Supreme Court might change a lot of things when it comes to this political campaign and to this legal campaign for Donald Trump.
Okay.